Alright. So, everybody out there in YouTube land, and everybody catching the stream live, playing some Grixis Shadow today. A little bit more of an old school build with like Gurmag Anglers, Stubborn Denials. Are playing one copy of Murktide Regent. This is a list inspired by, if I still have it up here, Zane Herod's list from one of the trials at SCG Con Dallas a few weeks ago. Made a couple little changes here just for personal preference, but we're going to take it for a spin, see how it goes. See if people are actually willing to play around things like Stubborn Denial. We know they won't play around Teamer Battle Rage, but this will be fun regardless. So we want to dodge anything with Solitude. I mean, we always want to dodge Solitude. So, what else is new? I got a piece of tape on my desk. While we wait, I don't know if y'all can see, I've got like stacks of cards back here. I've been going through stuff to try to find like Pioneer pieces. Cause I was like, oh, if I get these pulled aside, I can like trade them to people at my LGS or something. And I just found tons of like Prosperous Innkeepers and Deadly Disputes and all these things just like sitting in boxes. Like, oh, you want Kioras for your mono green deck? We got those. You want Rending Volleys and Dig Through Times? We got all those. And it's just one of those times where I'm sitting here thinking, like, what the hell is wrong with me? Why do I have all of these cards just, like, sitting around? I probably found, like, 20 Icon of Ancestries. Yeah, Kiyomo was telling me about the Deadly Disputes while I was going through those cards, and I saw, like, some of them. It was just like, wait, what? Come again? Like, I was going through my car a few weeks ago and pulled out, I had a couple extra packs of, like, sleeves in my trunk. And sometimes when I draft or something, like, I'll take my, like, sideboard for my draft deck and put it in the box and just, like, carry that around for the night. So, if I buy something in the store, I might just throw it in there because it's the best place to put it. Well, I opened up one of the boxes and just found, like, this is some of them, like, play sets of channel lands, the full art channel lands. And that was, like, my you have a problem moment. You need to think about all of your life decisions and maybe change up something. Alright, round one. What do we got? Win the die roll. Good start. So, if they're a creature deck and we find a second land, hand's great. If they're not a creature deck, then we're hoping soft stub on one does something. So I think I'm going to ship this. I just don't have enough information to know if that's a good hand. This is a lot better. Stolen Rims, what's up? People at the LGS never know what to expect when I stomp them with yet another food variant. Like, I don't really buy into random things. I just organize all my stuff really obsessively. So I've got like multiple of these like 1,000 count boxes where if you open up one of those, you can be like, oh, here's a stack of penny sleeve cards. Like, oh, you need giant killers and Katakis, or is that, yeah, Katakis and core firewalkers, lingering souls, like whatever you need. You can just reach in there and find like play sets of stuff. And it's all like alphabetized by color, and yeah. That's all I got. Alright, what do we got? Alright, am I taking Spell Pierce, trying to get this iteration to resolve? Am I taking Archmage's Charm as the best card against my Shadow? Am I taking their iteration? I think I'm just taking their iteration. That's a tough one. I think I'm just going to take their iteration. Yeah, like it's best card in the hand by a pretty wide margin. And I'm just gonna hope I find something between 2 draws and this Thought Scour to answer their way of answering my expressive iteration. Color and CMC, that's some serial killer shit. I mean, everybody's got their preference. Alright, so maybe we can bait Thought Scour here, or bait Spell Pierce here, if they think we like don't have a second land. Lands, colorless, multicolor, get their own slots. Same for me. And 2-colored are arranged by Ravnica guilds in alphabetical order. Alright, so I just have like all multicolored stuff together. Alright, so they choose not to dash Ragavan. Get Steam Vents and go ahead and Thought Scour. Okay. Way to lose life. Alright, so I can Unholy Heat the Ragavan and Stubborn Denial their Spell Pierce. It's not great, but gets a Ragavan off the table. So they still have a Scalding Tarn and Archmage's Charm and 2 unknowns. I would love to find a way to lose life so I can like iteration. Or am I supposed to just play double Shadow here? They've got Charm that I know about. I guess I'm supposed to iteration. Iteration, they counter it. I get down a Shadow. They do something. Or do I think they're going to counter the Shadow? Nah. We'll just get down iteration. Or go for iteration. Countering this, more than likely. Yep. And we get down Shadow. Get our other Watery Grave in case we find Murktide. Something, this is pod racing. Math checks out. Alright, so they've got... Oh, good draw. Good draw. Oh. Alright. So let's go Street Wraith. What am I doing? Street Wraith to hand, Thoughtseize to exile, or am I going Thoughtseize to hand? I can't cycle Street Wraith from exile, so I'd really like that to be in hand. Unless I'm getting Stubborn Denial. So maybe it's Stubborn Denial in hand, Thoughtseize to exile Street Wraith to the bottom. Yeah, I'll buy that. And cast you, nothing. Alright. Don't Murktide me. Boo. Boo. Big bucks, no Murktide. Big bucks, no Murktide. Not a Murktide. Alright. So another last card in hand is a land. They scryed to the top, or surveilled to the top. So my best draw would probably be a way to answer this Channeler. It's alright. So I guess we go with that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I doing this right? Am I? Is this the correct thing? Murktide looks great, yeah. I mean, right here in this spot, absolutely. So if they swing, well, they have to swing. 100% blocking. Kind of the hope is that their follow-up is a Unholy Heat that I get to counter. Nope. Eight flying for 2, Godspeed. I mean, yeah. And obviously people who have watched the stream for a while know that if I'm wrong about a card, I'm 100% okay with admitting it. I was wrong about Ragavan. To be fair, I made my assessment of Ragavan when Lava Dart was like everywhere in the format, and it's gone now. Is this the same build from last night? No. Last night I was playing Jund Splashing Blue. This is just like straight up old school Grixis. Let's counter that. Yeah! Murktide. Yeah. Here's the list for today. It's like the old school Delve Threat, Stubborn Denial build. Or a little bit closer to that. A few upgrades like Expressive Iteration. Alright. Terminates I know are coming in. EEs. Okay, I don't really want all of them. Do I want Leyline of the Void? Is that a card I want in this matchup? The only thing that gets it off the board is Brazen Borrower. Stops Murktide. Yeah. Stops Murktide. Stops Dragon's Rage Channeler. Stops Unholy Heat. So, I guess that's enough of a reason. So I'll shave down on a Delve Threat, because they're likely bringing in something like Relic of Progenitus. Shave a couple Wraiths. Shave Battle Rage. Drown in the Lock looks pretty bad if we're bringing in Leylines. And maybe like a Thoughtseize. It's like Thoughtseize would be used to hit Murktide, but if Leyline's hitting Murktide, then I don't care about them having Murktide. Let's go something like this. We'll see what happens and like adjust for game 3 if necessary. Okay. Hiya. Hand solid, like we've got disruption. We've got a threat. Do I just want to play out the EE or do I want to Thoughtseize? I could like fetch basic swamp, Thoughtseize gets 2 cards in the yard. Consider gives me 3. I think I want a Thoughtseize here, but let's just go like Watery Grave Thoughtseize. Oh man. Alright, so we take Relic. Let them play out their Channeler. We've got EE. Leyline of the Void, best card in the Murktide matchup. Oh man. Alright. Need to find something here. So I think what I'm gonna do is fetch up a another Watery Grave. Like I want to fetch up, I guess, really don't want to get Blood Crypt. Steam Vents or Water Grave. Got 3 Fatal Push, 2 Unholy Heat. We'll just get Watery Grave. And I'm just looking for like a Fatal Push or something here. We'll bin a Snapcaster. And here's an Unholy, or an E under Counterspell. And we just really need our opponent to whiff on this Ragavan this turn. That's not a whiff, but we do have double Gurmag, so we're not like dead in the water to that. Yeah, it's not a bad hit. Like, I don't feel... I would prefer them not to hit a Thoughtseize. I'd rather them just hit dead. But out of the things that they could hit, this isn't, like, horrible for me. They didn't hit, like, one of our expressive iterations or something. Alright, so this is great. This lets me pop EE and play a Gurmag Angler. So let's do that. They can Unholy Heat one of their own guys if they want to get the trigger. So we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Already been Snapcasters, so 6. Alright. They find Counterspell. Is that their one unknown? Oof. Archmage's Charm. Okay. So double Unholy Heat, or double Murktide Unholy Heat versus us. You didn't find anything. Get out of here with these fetches. Okay. So let's just get a tapped. Yeah! Alright, let's update the spreadsheet with that one. Oh, come back here, spreadsheet. Grixis has been needing a little bit of a boost, so this is great. X Murktide. Easy. Easy. All you gotta do is top deck what you need whenever you need it, and the game's simple. All right, what do we get for round 2? I don't even, I don't know what I want to see with this deck. So, obviously, Grixis builds like this have traditionally had really good combo matchups. So maybe like that that Neoform player we ran into the other day. All right, hand solid. We've got turn 2 Gurmag. Don't know what we're up against yet, so I don't know what I'm looking for. And I don't want to just aggressively fetch shock cycle Street Wraith in case we're against Burn or something. Neoform. Or not. Neoform Eldrazi Temple. God, you got me on the Neoform train now. So what do I want to do? I could consider looking for Hand Disruption in case they have Chalice. Could also just look for Stubborn Denial. Keep a Thoughtseize. Alright, that's really good draw. Because now I can Thoughtseize plus play Shadow. So I can get down under Chalice of the Void if they have one. Dismember. Thought not. So we're just going to take Dismember. So I can get down Shadow and not care. And if anybody is a fan of the channel, you'll recognize some of these plays, which we need another channel command for Street Wraith gotchas. I don't know, Steven, if you've got a chance to make one, but... Or they just top deck Thought Not Mana. Okay. Almost had them. So the hope there was that they obviously wouldn't top deck another temple, and they would just play second land, Walking Ballista for 1, go to ping the Shadow, and we get to cycle Street Wraith. But they peeled the second temple, so instead we get to deal with a 4/4. Yep. Why do we always face Tron? I wish I had a good answer for that. I wish I had a good answer. So I think I'm going to Thought Scour them. Okay. I can take a walking ballista. How aggressive am I getting here? Like if I attack, if I cycle Street Wraith and attack for 7 and they attack back, I'm not presenting lethal, which is a big issue. But I'm already down to 2 attacks anyway, so... Why is Tron a thing? It's not. It's just me. It really is. And I'm going to be so sad if I top deck like a Gurmag Angler here. Alright. So they can play Karn next turn. That. But yeah, it really is just me. It's kind of funny. Alright, so don't care about Thought Knot here. If they play... I was going to say, if they play Karn, then I just need to find an answer. Survey says... So all I gotta do is cast Karn, see the Stubborn and all of them were dead to the Thought Knot Seers. Ugh. So who remembers the suggestion on Aether Gust over Disdainful Stroke? And I said, I know my odds. I know I'm gonna see Tron. Well... Day of Reckoning, thy name is Michael. Could bring in EE as an additional out to like Chalice of the Void or Ensnaring Bridge. Just like board out a Delve guy. Aether Gust isn't the playable card if you like winning. I think it's fine. I'm never like going, oh my god, Aether Gust. This is the best card. But if you're expecting a bunch of like Amulet Titan, it's not the worst thing in the world. But I just like never seem to get paired against Amulet Titan. I get paired against like Tron all the time. Or Tron decks. So, kept this hand because I've got an answer to Chalice of the Void with EE. I've got a threat. I can kind of start getting something going. Does look like they're going to have Tron. They do not have Tron. Okay. So I want to just take Matter Reshaper. Yeah, take a Matter Reshaper. Shock in you. Play Terminate versus Titan instead of giving them the exact same play. Well, the idea is like you don't let them resolve the Titan trigger. Also, Steven, I don't know if you're here, but I love the odds that my opponent's going to naturally rip Tron. And they do. And it's religious at this point. Is there anything that I can do? Like, am I supposed to just play the shadow into the known dismember? Do I iteration looking for something to kill? Take something out of hand. I think I'm supposed to iteration. It's like they can't cast Ulamog next turn. I don't care about all his dust. Oh, joy. Those are super good hits off that. I can play a shadow that's bigger than all his dust, or bigger than Dismember can deal with next turn. So if they get Tron, they play out a 3/3 Ballista. I could drown, or I can play Shadow. Probably play Shadow. So they're going to have 9 mana towards Ulamog next turn. That seems like it could be a little bit of a problem. Alright, so if I just go Fetch Shock, double Shadow. Fetch Shock, double Shadow, EE on 0. Because I'm trying to get them to cast all his dust. Yeah. Alright. They top decked the other tower. So. Huh. So I have to Disdainful Stroke the Ulamog. I take 3 off the Ballista here. So now kill the Ballista. They 3 me down to 1. So I have to go ahead and pop this before they untap. I mean, this generally don't play E-Tron if you don't run this hot. Aren't you supposed to, like, not know how hot you're going to run before the event starts? Their next 2 draws were a Cavern of Souls and another Walking Ballista. Into an Urza Saga. Okay. Second Ulamog. Alright. So their blind draws were second Tron land in the blind. Second tower. Ulamog, Urza Saga. There's one more. What was the other one? They had another draw. They got 3 cards in hand, and we know all 3 of them. They drew the second Tron land on turn 2. Played the Ballista on 3. Played Ulamog on 4. So one of their 2 draws there was the second tower. Then they drew Urza Saga in there somewhere. Second Ulamog. Oh, man. Like, I love the fact that we've got so much video evidence of the bad luck against Tron that it's fantastic. Deck with only one way to get Tron assembled, just jam 2 Ulamogs in there and hit them along with blindly ripping the Tron lands. Drew kind of hot. We were laughing about it. We were trying to figure out what your draws were. Like the second Tron land, the second Ulamog, the Urza Saga, and then missing one in there somewhere. Yeah, that was the other one. Game 1, we had the Street Wraith off the turn 2 Walking Ballista, and we're like, all right, we're gonna cycle the Street Wraith. We'll be able to get away from this this Ballista here. And then you play the second Eldrazi Temple, and I was like, huh. Plan went down the drain real quick. Playing the minus Smasher version. Well, you gotta fit those Ulamogs in there somewhere. And Ulamog looked a hell of a lot better there than Smasher would have. Relics and stuff, no Chalice. So Chalice was one of the big things I was playing around, or like trying to keep hands that played around. So knowing that one's not in the deck is both depressing and rewarding. Like, I'm glad that E-Tron's not playing Chalice, but at the same time, I would have loved to have seen Chalice instead of Ulamog. Need to start drawing better versus E-Tron. So the one thing I can do in Magic is not draw better against anything. So you're going to need to get that idea straight out. I think Chalice is just like poor against anything but Cascade. I mean, it's fantastic against me. Alright. I'm just going to be kind of mana efficient here. Get rid of the redraw. So if they're hitting basics, then Drown in the Lock's not going to do a whole lot from here out. Alright, do have another Blood Crypt, so I can just go like Shadow, Gurmag. Don't know how you can draw better if your opponent is tutoring every draw step. No, you just gotta outpower the tutors. Gonna bounce my Gurmag. Alright. Odds that our opponent has got the card Solitude in their hand right now. 200%? 300%? Huh? Yeah! Played around it. Would have solituded the Gurmag. They could, but then you're just like minusing the Teferi with no draw. Alright. Yorion, so just like generic 4-color Yorion pile. Guess Disdainful Stroke technically counters an Omnath and a Solitude. Why only 2 iterations? Just because it's pretty clunky in these builds, like with 17 lands and functional 7 1-mana threats, like you don't really want to get past 2 mana that often. You kind of want all of your deck to function at 2. So once you start adding in like Snapcasters and iterations and things, it pretty much wants you to like sorcery speed tap out after you have a threat down. Gets a little awkward. It's not like bad, but it's not the most ideal way to address those kind of turns. Like, you really want to embrace that kind of tempo idea of get a dude down, protect the queen until the game's over, and those cards kind of play against that by wanting you to tap out pretty aggressively. So if you run too many of them, they can just like clog up your hand when you want to be holding up interaction. But I think if you're running like Ragavans in here, I'd probably up the iteration count. Just because like those games where you're able to make a little bit extra mana are super nice with iteration. Ooh, what do I think of this? Probably fine. I need to find Thoughtseize, Inquisition. Are they just going to hold up Veil of Summer from now until the end of time? Looks like it. Looks like it. Oh, there go my threats. It's a pretty good threat. Alright, so let's go Delta Pass. Still have Steam Vents in the deck, so I can get Steam Vents, Other Water Grave, Blood Crypt. That gives me Turok mana. No. Bad snipers are bums. Stay on your side of the field. Alright, so let's get Steam Vents so I can fire off this Consider. I would like that. Alright, so if I get Blood Crypt, go to 11, Thoughtseize to 9, so I can go Thoughtseize, Shadow. I cannot hold up Stubborn Denial. Or like Snap Stubborn. Murktide. So let's Thoughtseize first. I can determine if I want to keep that Murktide or not. By just taking Veil here so that I know Turok can resolve. Yeah, I think I'm taking Veil. Alright, now do I want Murktide? I feel like I don't. I feel like they've just got a ton of just solid answers for Murktide. So I think I'm just going to shuffle that away and play Shadow. And just try to like 2-for-1 out with Turok, and then figure out from there. Ice Fang Coatl. Okay. Ice Fang Coatl that misses land. Alright. And am I for sure casting this Turok? Yes. And we get Verdict and Teferi. Nice. Alright, so next turn I can like snap Thoughtseize, take Omnath, get a big hit in, hold up Stubborn Denial, or I can, I don't even know, something, magic card, something. I can only get Turok up to a 5, which means I can't present lethal next turn. But could still be worth it just to get like a good chunk in. Maybe they can't fetch or something to get Omnath. Alright, what do we got? So I would go to 5, snap Thoughtseize to 3, so I could be dead to Bolt. So I think if that's the case, would I rather attack and sit on stub, snap, stub? Because if they do find a land for Omnath, they can only draw a card. They can't. They can't make a bunch of mana. So I know Path Omnath. I want to make sure that this Turok is presenting lethal next turn. So if I go Snap Thoughtseize, Shadow grows to a 10 if I shock. At least an 8, so that would be 8 plus 5 is 13, so Turok would be lethal if they don't gain life. So I think Snap Thoughtseize is right. That's a supreme verdict. So if I just take Omnath. No. I just take Path, right? Because I don't care about them resolving Omnath. They can't resolve Verdict. They can't draw both a double white and... yeah, they can't get double white next turn. And... yeah. Okay. So let's just attack with these two. Mystic Gate. Don't think they play Mystic Gates. But we're gonna find out right here if they do. No, they couldn't use Mystic Gate because they couldn't filter like white, blue, and have the second white. So yeah, Mystic Gate wouldn't do it. They would need Wooded Bastion. Thank you very much. So they could filter their green into double white. Let's just cast Omnath. Cast Omnath. Hope I forget to attack. You've never heard Wooded Bastion? Oh, man. I'm going to teach you about a deck I brewed up real quick. So, Wooded Bastion's the green-white filter land from Shadowmoor. Omnath, sure. Yeah, they played their land drop already. They played Scalding Tarn and got Hallowed Fountain. Yeah. So, yeah, one of my first standard decks like I ever brewed for a competitive FNM had like Wiltleaf Liege, Seed Cradle Witch, Path to Exile, Noble Hierarch, Knight of Meadowgrain, and Wooded Bastion was like huge for making sure you could go like double green, double white. You ran like Cloud Thresher in the sideboard, and it was a wild, wild west of Magic times. Played in that meta too. Yeah, it was when the Bant Exalted deck was super popular. So like, what was it? Rafika the Mini, Finest Hour, Noble Hierarch, Rock's War Monk, all that jank. And I'm over here playing my Seed Cradle Witches, my Behemoth Hammers. What do we got? Ooh. Another Yorion deck. Don't have a threat. We YOLO it. Rafik is one of my favorite Magic cards. Sounds like a fun deck. It was a pretty fun deck, but it was super good. Alright. So, I am going to Unholy Heat this Arbor Elf. Or am I going to Fatal Push the Arbor Elf? Guess we're going to Fatal Push the Arbor Elf. But I'm going to let this Mishra's Bauble resolve. See what our opponent's got going on. This just like a green-white taxes or something. Oh no, this is Saheeli combo. Alright. So on the bright side, if I just find a threat, I feel pretty good in this matchup. Obviously, that involves the whole finding a threat part. What can they... Yeah, I've got the backup Thoughtseize. We'll just take the Abundant Growth. Yeah, Kiki Jiki, because it goes infinite with Felidar Guardian. So I'm assuming this is like the new pod one with the new... what was it, Nissa? Nissa or Vivian, one of the two. Alright. I would like one of your finest dudes, please. Get the Yorion. They can't just like play that, draw a bunch of cards. Is it Vivian? Yeah, the new Planeswalker acts like a pod. Felidar Guardian, yep. Alright. It's a pretty good one to find on curve. Into an Omnath. Ooh, man. Playing for the upside of finding a shadow. So, if I Unholy Heat the Felidar Guardian, they can go Omnath, fetch land, Kiki Jiki, copy, or they can't copy the Omnath, it's legendary. Never mind, so we're just killing this, playing a Murktide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's Murktide. And maybe we get lucky and rip a Battle Rage off the top. Except they do get to just like Omnath us here. I was gonna say, maybe they fetch and shock and just like play Kiki Jiki, use haste, swing. Oh man. So I can't even attack because I'm just like dead to a hasty Kiki Jiki if I do. Partimore, what's up? Need to find an answer to an Omnath. Almost an answer to an Omnath. Alright, let's try this again. So, Disdainful Stroke's great. Terminate's okay. Turok seems like it'll be fine. Yeah, we are on Grixis. Trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life. Summoner now looks really bad. Like, it stops Vivian, but not being able to interact with, like, any of the dudes, I think's too much of an ask. Might keep in one. Like, maybe they're bringing in some sort of interaction that I want to be able to deal with. Just, like, trim some fluff. Alright. Kind of the same thing as last hand. We just need a threat. So let's get Watery Grave. Yeah, because I'm for sure Inquisitioning here. Okay. Utopia Sprawl, Prismatic Ending. And the Solitude. So now I know they've got Solitude. So I need to find an answer to one of these white cards before I play out Shadow. Utopia Sprawl, Windswept Heath. That, by all technicalities, answers a Solitude. That does not. Just Inquisition. Yep. Picked up an Omnath. Oof. Play out Shadow. Say go. Now I do have like the Omnath I have to let resolve so I can Unholy Heat it on my turn. Because I don't want to tap off of this Disdainful Stroke here. Kill you, attack with Shadow, and the hope here is that they just go like hard cast Solitude, and I get to untap Thoughtseize. If I find a fetch land, I can Thoughtseize plus Battle Rage. Now obviously playing goes out the window if they just found like another copy of what's it called? So I have to let this resolve. Another copy of Solitude. Alright, now just fetch, shock, hard cast, Solitude. That's all I want. Fetch, shock, hard cast, Solitude. Solitude down. Fetch land. So what am I doing? Am I putting Stubborn Denial in hand? Or am I just getting a land? I guess I'm putting Stub in hand. Swamp to the bottom, Island to exile. They did have another Solitude and a Karmic Guide. Oh, man. Magic's tough. Magic is tough. Karmic Guide? Like, I get it being a Saheeli deck. You just get to, like, Karmic Guide back, Felidar Guardian, or whatever. See, Watsy just hates Shadow players specifically. Well, I mean, it's on us. We should have played around it, right? Like, we had chances, and we're just like, oh yeah, we're not going to lose to Karmic Guide. What are the odds of that happening? Apparently pretty good. And this is an 80 card deck. Well, 80 cards just means more consistent. That's all 80 cards means. You put Yorion in your deck to like guarantee that you're going to see what you need to see when you need to see it. Like our taxes buddy the other day. Every card does exile. What up, bench? Heard Death Shadow's dead. Half the time. Like, this is so indicative of Modern right now. 2002, 2002. Like, alright, this deck did everything that messed with everything we held dear. We never had a chance. This one didn't do anything relevant. We ran them over. Blame the EDH players for crying about white being bad all the time. I am absolutely with you there. Like, it's carried over to Commander players that have like started playing Modern. You hear it all the time. Just like, oh, white has nothing good. It's just path. And then they give you like Prismatic Ending, the Wandering Emperor, March of Otherworldly Light, Skyclave Apparition, and the white players are just like, well, yeah, we redo it. Maybe we have a chance of catching up with these other colors now. It's like, no, you're miles ahead of the other colors. Like, there's no catching up. You shot right past. Battlefield Forge. This is the bracket we're in. Oh, is this red, white, prowess? So I kind of like need to kill this right now on my turn. Death Shadow. I will keep that. I could very easily have like a mutagenic growth here and save it, but... Or gut shot. Okay. Remember when people were hella scared of this deck? I absolutely do. So the hope here is that opponent does like a good chunk to us, but not enough to kill us. Just enough to where we can like get a shadow down and hold up Stubborn Denial. Another white card. They're everywhere. Alright, so we'll just pass and hold up like flashing in Snapcaster to block something. I was a believer that this deck was going to run Modern. I mean, it was like a good deck, but at the same time, in a format where like Fatal Push is one of the premier removal cards, it takes a really big hit in the face. Because like it doesn't matter how big your dudes get if they die to Fatal Push. I'm gonna flash in a Snapcaster and throw it in front of this guy. If they like play another gut shot or something, then they're just getting me closer to shadow range. And if not, then I just get to get a Soulscar Mage off the board. So like I'm pretty good with however this turns out. Say. So I think I'm just gonna play Gurmag Angler and hold up Stubborn Denial. Just put a big roadblock in front of them. Prowess is already great, and I thought this one was going to push it over the edge. Yeah, but like the blue-red Prowess version like always had Stormwing Entity, and that was the one that just like made Modern miserable because there's nothing good to answer Stormwing Entity. And this version was like faster, but died to so much more because you could actually like kill this card some number of turns. Turn 2 Entity was fucked up. Love that Mike hasn't lost a single bit of his Angler math abilities. I wouldn't say... I feel like I've lost some of it. And I'm just like trying to get my opponent to use spells here. Anything they use is making Gurmag, or not Gurmag, Death Shadow better. So I'll let Prowess resolve. I'll let this trigger resolve. I will not let this resolve. If they want to get this Lumimancer bigger, they're going to need to fire off some gut shots or mutagenic growths or something. We ain't making this free. There you go. Keep them coming. You killed the hell out of that Gurmag Angler. Yeah, we'll do some iterating. Alright, so I can actually get basic swamp here, or I can Inquisition. So I think I'm gonna go Inquisition to hand, Delta to the bottom, Shadow to exile, and just like play out double Shadow. Might kill myself if they've got double bolt, but here we go. It's like now if they don't have another dude, they have to chump block a Shadow. Want to swing? Nope. Okay. And that's a fantastic draw. What you got, OP? Assault Strobe. So let's take that. How many shadows do we want to attack with? If I attack with 2, I'm just gonna swing 1. Am I swinging with 2? They can only cast 1 spell. They can't flash back a lava dart. They have to chump block a shadow. Yeah, attack with 1. If I attack with 2, they chump 1 with a Soul Scar, go to their turn, and if they top deck, I'm not dead to bolt. What am I dead to? What 1 mana spell would kill me if they've got 2 guys? 1 mana spell that I can Stubborn Denial and I've got a blocker. They can only get 1 attacker through, so yeah. We swing both. Let's call Stubborn Denial a good Magic card. Of course it covers top decks. Oh, this is great. Block away. No, no. Put him back. Put him back. Yes, yes. Anything you do that has 2 blocks, I'm all on board with. Force Spike for the win. This is negate for the win. Not even Force Spike. This is just straight up get it out of here. Now they're on double abyss mode. Yeah. Alright. EEs are great. Terminates are great. Brutality's okay. Not really a Damping Sphere fan in this matchup. Street Wraith are a little sus. A little suspect, if you will. And I think I'm just going to board out maybe a Murktide. It's a little bit clunky. I don't think I want, like, I never want to draw multiple delve guys. Multiple delve gentlemen. Or madams. Honestly, don't know the gender of a zombie fish. I feel like there's probably someone out there that's done like a full thesis on this. Like, oh, as you can tell, the male angler fish have a much more pronounced lure. I believe we're shipping this. If Blood Crypt was a fetch land, no anglerfish or small without lure. See? I knew somebody had done this. Gurmag Angler's a female fish. Let's see. Angler fish male versus female. Male only grow to a fraction of the size of females. Females have the unmistakable dorsal spine with its luminous flesh lure at the end. Males don't have the same head growth. So yeah, Gurmag Angler is a female. Alright. We learned something today. Didn't know this was an educational channel, but it is. Alright. So, since this is not a clever Lumamancer, I think I'd rather Inquisition here. I'll just get like a basic swamp, save a little bit of my life total. So I'm not really afraid of dying to a Blister Coil weird on turn 2. And I've got Fatal Push for after turn 2. Well, I guess we gotta take an escape unscathed. Actually, no, I shouldn't have taken that. I should have just taken the Swift Spear. Never mind. Never mind. Decision was perfect. But I should have taken the Swift Spear, so if they played anything on this Blister Coil, I could Fatal Push plus have Stubborn Denial for the escape. Well, I didn't take the Swift Spear because I only had one removal spell. And they were, like, guaranteed going to get to take one of these things. But then I drew the second removal spell, so the decision didn't matter. You want a mutagenic? Huh? Huh? Little mutagenic growth? Little, +2/+2? Little, Prowess trigger? Great. Ouch. Alright, so let's go push you. Push you. Doing this now in case they find another emerge unscathed. Alright. No dudes. No dudes. Waiter, your finest shadow, please. Waiter. Waiter. Your finest death shadows, if you will. If you would see so fit. Thank you, waiter. Tip your cat. Waiter, one of your finest second death shadows, please. I love this waiter. We're coming back here every Sunday for brunch from now until the end of time. This waiter is... Now you draw. Had to happen eventually, right? Do I want to Inquisition? No. Guess if Tron got us, then we get the RW Prowess player. Waiter, waiter, another round. Okay, let's see what we got here. We can at least say, like, kids aren't completely starving. Gyre Reach Sanitarium, yuck. Okay. So our losses were to Eldrazi, Tron, and Yorion pile. The Eldrazi Tron match Yeah, we just got outdrawn hard. I don't think we made some good decisions. We had some good lines, and just didn't work out that way. The 4-color pile match, that was game 2. Opponent just drew like multiple Solitudes and Karmic Guide and Omnath. Game 1. Or that was the Saheeli combo player. Game 1 was Omnath, but yeah. The notes for Tron was just draw better. Really was. No, this is missing. Dismember. Tails in. Ooh, tails in. Alright, so what do we think about the list? Like, we saw Murktide in the Murktide mirror, and it looked fantastic, right? Because they just, like, couldn't get our Murktide off the field. Gurmag was okay. Like, all the Delve threats were solid. Nothing special, but, I mean, they do what they're supposed to do. I don't think we ever saw... No, we saw Drown in the Loch, like, once. I don't remember how it looked. Disdainful Stroke was pretty good. Terminate was good. Leyline was ironically hilarious. Turok was good. Not a big Brutality fan. So, like, if I were going to swap some stuff around out of this list, I'd probably want the second Battle Rage somewhere. Snapcaster doesn't look too great when you like your Murktide list. Stub did, in fact, not help us against the Solitude piles. Told you the Miser Dragon is truth. The Miser Dragon was pretty good. I won't argue that one. But we just, like, don't have a lot of play against Solitude, unfortunately. And it gets even worse when you play a bunch of these big Delve threats.